'Twas the night before Hops Geek News Christmas special, and all through both their houses, each of their kids were yelling and asking for snacks. Thank God for both their spouses.
Matt and Lauren's mics were set up in their podcast rooms with care. While they each had to yell at their kids, please do not go in there.
Their Christmas themed beers were all snug in their fridges, which their true loves gifted them instead of some partridges.
Lauren in her mom bun and Matt in his movies cap thought the doc was ready to go and then thought, oh crap.
Away on Lauren's phone arose such a clatter, it was Tim texting her, and she knew something was the matter.
He called them out about something they'd messed up on last week. So Lauren threw open her laptop and pulled up the doc. There's your Stanley cameo, which is never a shock.
The laptop light shone on the Lego advent calendar below. This year was Star Wars themed, and they were both hoping to get Poe.
When what to their wondering eyes should appear? But in the crack of the calendar, there was a Palpatine they feared.
He was such an evil little emperor who didn't seem lively or quick. Either way, we all now know somehow his death did not stick.
While they still love Star Wars and have no shame, Matt and Lauren prepared for the new year as they yelled out their favorite topics and called them by name.
Now Marvel, now Star Wars, now DC and Image, now Supernatural, The Boys, and even con coverage.
To the top of their podcasting doc, they'll cover it all. Now go and create content. Don't forget to have a ball. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
What's up? Welcome back. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate.
Happy
Thank you
Life
for coming
Day.
yes, happy Life Day. Thank you for coming and joining us on our very first annual Christmas special 2023. We are Hops Geek News. I am Matt. With me is Lauren. As always, we talk comic books, movies, TV shows, and we feature a beer of the week. Now, if you've never heard of us before, that's what we do. Typically, we do some news. We talk about what we've messed up on the week before. We go into a beer of the week. We talk about what we've been reading or watching. And then we do a, themed topic of the week. But this time it's going to be a little different. This is going to be a solely Christmas special, our first ever one. We're going to talk Christmas beer we're drinking. We're going to talk some weird traditions we might have, some geek themed traditions, what kind of beers we might drink, what kind of cooking we maybe do around Christmas, 5 movies we can't live without, 5 movies we think they're underrated, 5 movies we think that are overrated. We go into some Christmas comics, some random Christmas movies that we think are worth watching, favorite core memories about the holiday, and then we've got some very, very fun Christmas fun facts because Lauren is the genius behind the show and she loves to do some school. That's what we got on tap for you. As always, Hops Geek News, any podcasting platform, any social media platform. Go ahead, follow us, subscribe, drop a 5-star review, help us grow a little bit. You can catch us coming here soon. We will be at MegaCon in February 1st through 4th of 2024 in Orlando, Florida. Come find us, say hello. We have stickers, we have keychains, we've got all sorts of stuff. We're going to be there, possibly doing a panel or two. And then, as always, if you like this shirt, man, go to roosevelts.com. We don't have a sponsorship or anything like that. However, it would be cool one day. But their shirts are cool, nice little Star Wars themed. Got some AT-ATs carrying a sleigh. Check them out. Lauren, let's start with you. What Christmas themed beer do you have in your glass tonight?
So I actually found this in the back of my fridge. So this is from last year. I have a J Dubs Brewing Company Season's Greetings Peppermint Milk Chocolate Porter.
Ooh,
So
those don't really go bad though, so that's perfect.
yeah, yeah. If it had been an IPA, I would have had another beer on deck ready to try something else. So this is a brewery in Sarasota, Florida. I guess actually we also have one here in Orlando. Um, oh, they're the ones that are connected to the Magic Arena. How did I forget that? Is that right?
Oof.
I think that's right. So yeah, it's really good. It's very malty, which I think it might have not been as malty last year. I don't get too much peppermint. I wish I got a little bit more. I don't remember getting a lot of it last year. But I think I actually drank this at Epcot the other day too. Maybe I should have researched
Jeez.
this before
Oh
I came
my
on here.
God.
But it's a good beer. It's a solid beer. I have it in my hallelujah, holy shit, where's the beer glass? And I wish we got more peppermint porters and peppermint stouts. The best one I ever had was at Wynwood Brewing in South Florida when they were like a new brewery. They were like walking distance to J Wakefield, and they like hit the keg like while we were there, and like beer sprayed everywhere. I think it got Brielle was like a baby and it got on her, but it was so good. We brought a growler home, and it was like fresh peppermint. Like sometimes the peppermint beers are like gum.
Yeah, that's true.
And this
There's
one was
a,
not.
like I mentioned, there's Virginia Beer Company. They have their Evil Santa, which they have a peppermint version of, and it tastes just like a peppermint mocha coffee. I've seen a few actually around the Virginia area. I'd have to get my hands on some. I don't think there's really any other breweries that I know of that are big that kind of do them, but I do wish we did have more of them because you're right. For some reason, we don't really have any, and it's Christmas. You'd think they do a lot of pumpkin beers for Halloween. There's not really a lot of,
God, so many pumpkin beers. I still
yeah,
have
there's not
pumpkin beers
really
in my
any
fridge.
peppermint beers for Christmas. That's kind of peculiar, but
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
get your life together. I'm drinking from Smart Mouth Brewing out of Virginia. It's a local beer this year. Lauren drank it last year. I'm drinking there. A lot of sap. It's an IPA with spruce tips coming in at 7%. It's pretty good, actually. You get a lot of that piney flavor. And I like the can because just like her Hallelujah, Where's the Beer? Christmas Vacation. This is kind of a Christmas Vacation themed can. You got the squirrel in the tree. You got cousin Eddie off to the side. It's little fool. A lot of sap is what it says on the can too. A lot of really great detail. Artwork is beautiful. I love, and the art is by John Rhodes. Check this beer out. It was actually canned relatively recently too, 11/23. I got it at Total Wine, which is kind of nice because you don't get a lot of these beers in Idaho. So it's kind of cool to be in a place like Virginia that does a lot of these like holiday themed beers. So I'm excited. It's pretty good. It's a little dark. I got it at my little glass here, but it has some good pine taste to it. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You would think piney
I
would
remember
be
that being
like
very
weird.
piney. Yeah.
Yeah, well
Oh,
you think
piney, like a good West Coast IPA is nice and piney sometimes.
yeah, they are. It's kind of drinks like that. It says just it doesn't say anything about being a West Coast, but it definitely gives you that West Coast kind of vibe and taste and it's uh it's really good. I'm enjoying it. That's my first holiday themed beer. I'm sure I'll have two tonight, to be honest with you. And
I believe
we'll see what the next one is.
Jay actually sent that one to my mom last year, which is how I got to try it. So I just looked up the two things to verify because both of them felt wrong. J Dubs is not connected to the Amway. That's a Big Storm Brewing. And I did not have this beer at Epcot the other day. I had a Playa Linda Peppermint Stout.
This is awkward because I said you're the brains of the show, and you had to go and make me look stupid.
I'm also the fact checker of my own mistakes.
You are. I will say that Barbarian Brewing in Boise, Idaho, they were known for their peppermint bark golden stout, and that one was really
Mm,
good. I've sent that one to you in the past before. I wish I kind of had it this year too. It was really delicious, and they're a really good brewery out in Boise. But that's what we're kind of drinking right now. And why don't you go into do you want to go into some comments from the Discord first before we kind of roll
sure.
into some main things?
So we did ask some like traditions because it's one of the cool things about the holidays is everybody really does have their own traditions, whether you realize it or not. There is something you do every year that is like unique to you. So Zach said every Christmas Eve he murders a guy and assumes his identity.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
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 fun.
fun.
That's really
Yeah.
unique actually. I like that one. Where does he does live in like northern New Hampshire too, where there's a lot of just the White Mountains are and everything like that, so it's easier to get away with that. And good
It's a
on
heck of
him.
a way to start the new year. You really get to start from scratch.
I need to take tips. That takes a whole new meaning to New Year, New Me.
Yeah. Um, Micah says that he walks outside to pee at 12:01, bourbon company in hand, and he gives thanks.
Micah, hold on. We gotta talk. Like, first of all, I hope no. Are- I, I was thinking like, is that cousin Eddie like Shitter's Fool kind of thing?
That
But
is kind of cousin Eddie like. I like that he has the Bourbon County in hand
that's
though, and he
that's
gives
very on
thanks.
brand. Like Micah, love that dude. First of all, he's somebody who's followed the show for a long time, so it's always he always comes up like he's off the wall, and he like will message us
Sometimes
as
he's
a
absolutely hilarious with his
yeah.
comments.
He
Yeah.
hits us at 3 in the morning on the Discord with like a beer he's drinking. I'm like, Micah, you have children. How are you awake at this hour? And he's like, I
Because
was doing
sometimes,
laundry, and I'm like,
yeah,
what?
sometimes it's the only time you can have peace and quiet is the
It's
middle of the
true.
night.
Like that's a true meaning of being a parent. And I'm hoping to meet up with Micah soon. He only lives 2 hours away from me, and can't wait to see that dude. Shout out to you, Micah.
Well, and you know what? After you put together those Christmas presents and you're just, trying not to get enraged because you can't get this stupid Dora kitchen
When you're
together.
all drunk too, trying to bring him down and put him under the tree, but you're trying not to be loud, but like at drunk at like midnight, you're loud as hell inadvertently in like the
Yeah.
slightest noise, you're like and then you're whisper yelling at each other, like, shut up, what are you doing?
Yeah. That doesn't go in
That's
there.
that's
Where's the
Christmas.
Allen
Yeah,
wrench?
and then you try to like put them in a certain spot, and then like you're yelling at each other because there's like a method to it, or Carrie's yelling at me because I'm not putting them in the proper like size order or something like that, and you're just like, it's funny.
Oh
We
my
usually,
gosh.
yeah.
There's this TikTok I sent to Josh. It was some real, and it's like me at Christmas time, and it's Nathan Lane, and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And it's like some guy had set like a vase down, and Nathan Lane comes over and just pivots it just a little, and he's like screaming. And I'm like, "How could you be so stupid and not have
No,
anxiety?" And
the ones that are about like yelling at your man because you wanted his help and he knows that like two red ornaments don't go next to
yeah,
each other.
I sent it to Josh. He's like, "That's about right." I'm very
I try
particular
to
with how my holiday decor goes.
Oh, Carrie is too. I'll try to like hang ornaments up or do the lights. And she's like, no, the lights need to zigzag this exact way. And I'm like, what? They are. And she's like, no, it's like this. And she's got a whole
Yeah, and you
science
have
to
to
it.
step back and blur your eyes to make sure they're evenly distributed.
Yeah. And then she's like, this is off. And I'm looking at the tree. I'm like, the string's the same color as the tree. I don't know what you're
You're
talking
wrong.
about.
Carrie's right.
I know she is. And I'm like, I don't know what you're
At
talking
least you know
about right
that's
now.
good.
What? And then there's a whole science to it. And then Christmas is both the most wonderful time of year and also it's just you
It's a
as a
lot.
man typically realize that we really just we're along for the ride in the household.
Well, I mean, Josh didn't grow up with Christmas, so he really is
Oh,
just
that's
along
fair.
for the ride.
That's fair.
But the kids the last few years have actually wanted to decorate until the end. Like it used to be me at the end, and then I could place everything where I wanted it and put the ones I don't like in the back. And I like to have all the ones I love strategically placed so I can see them on
Oh
my
God, the kids are
recliner.
psychopaths when they put them on. Like
Everyone Logan had to be like
they
redone.
they put them right next to each other, and you're like, what are you doing? There's like six ornaments in this clump,
And
and
they're
like
on
you
the
got this
end.
bear. Yeah.
And like we have a real tree, so like you cannot put them on the end or it's just go whoop.
Yep.
Okay.
Same. Well, we don't have a
So
real tree, but yeah.
DT, well, you can tell we got some very
DT,
serious
shout out to
responses.
DT. Go listen to Space Castle podcast. Great dudes.
So he said, this is a weird tradition, but this is what he did with his family growing up. After Thanksgiving, they'd purchase a living tree cut from the earth, stand it up in their living room, cover it with tchotchkes, and watch it slowly die, spending weeks talking about how good the dying smelled.
What's T'Chaka? Is that like T'Challa? They're
I
covering
don't know.
T'Challa.
I think he just meant like trinkets or whatever. All right.
Oh,
So
I mean, that makes sense. He also lives in Colorado, where I feel like they're the best place for Christmas trees too. And but like as somebody who gets a real tree, and we had one last year, the smell of the dying tree as it dies, it gets pinier
it's
and
so
pinier, and it
good.
smells really freaking good.
Yeah. So I always do like I have a wreath that I always put real stuff in to go around my little Jack and Sally silhouette. And I was like up next to it earlier today. And it just smells so good because it's not obviously drinking water. It's just dead. It smells amazing. Our tree, yeah, it doesn't smell good until it's dying.
Yeah.
So Stacy gave us a real answer. She said, my family is Polish, so we make pierogies and potato pancakes. And on New Year's, they eat sauerkraut at midnight. And as an adult, her and her fiance, soon to be husband, have started gifting each other an ornament every year. And on
Oh.
Christmas morning, they start the day with mimosas and pancakes.
All right. First of all those answers are real answers. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We got a real one from Patrick, too. As a family, we always do rat clip for dinner on Christmas Eve. I don't know what that is. Oh, which is like an advanced form of fondue. Ooh.
Oh.
And he sent a picture of the appliance showing it. That is a fancy little machine.
All right.
Dinner takes way longer and we all get to enjoy each other's company. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he said it's really fun because all you have to do is the prep work and then you just get to sit around and eat your
Drink
meal
and
and
be
talk,
merry.
which is lovely because like on Thanksgiving this year, I felt like as soon as I was able to sit down, everybody was leaving.
'Tis the season to be merry.
And then he said he drinks too much and then he's hungover at church on Christmas. So make sure Santa brings y'all some electrolytes too.
Yeah, some liquid IV or something like that. Make sure that's the case because a lot of people. I love the eggnog, and the problem with the eggnog is you want to spike it, but then you're spiking it, and the next you know, like the eggnog gets you really full, and so like it's just a bad concoction of like your stomach is full, you're bloated, and it's just awful.
And then the shitter's full.
Just awful everything.
I've never been an eggnog fan.
I like it, but man, it's thick and with like three C's, and you just get so full, and you're just like, oh
Yeah,
God.
Josh is all about the farm stores eggnog.
Ooh, like there's something, yeah, like Costco brand. They have good eggnog at Costco. That was good.
Yeah.
I recommend that one. But let's roll into real quick. Let's kind of roll into some holiday traditions of our own, starting with weird and or unique. What are some things that you have?
So we have Danish heritage. And so actually, with my dad, we celebrate Christmas Eve night. And we do dinner. And then, like, we'll go looking for Santa if we're going to do stockings at night. And then we pass all the presents out. But before we start opening them, we hold hands, walk around the Christmas tree, and sing songs.
Wait,
And
that's a
then
real
the
thing?
that is a real thing. And then the last song
That's
we sing is a Danish song called Nu Have Juligan. And we have to sing it faster and faster and switch going places until you can't go anymore. And so you're like, Nu
that
Have Juligan, or
sounds
Nu
fun,
Have
but also I'm
Juligan.
just picturing like Yahoo Forest
Yeah,
Yahoo.
it's kind of like that, but we're not swaying. We're actually walking, and you pick songs from youngest to oldest. So when the kids are little, they absolutely love it, like eat it up. And then you have to hope the person before you doesn't pick your song. And then you realize how many songs nobody actually knows all the
That's also
words to.
true. No, I don't know a single full Christmas song.
Yeah. So what's funny though is my dad, before we do it, he always makes sure like every window in the house is like closed. And like
Ah,
at his old house that he lived at for like 25 years until like 2 years ago, he lived on a canal. And so the whole back was all windows. And he would close those too because he knew the back, like the neighbors across the canal. And he didn't want anybody to see us dancing around the Christmas tree.
it's hilarious.
But
He's
we
like,
have to do it.
I love this tradition with the windows closed and nobody can know.
But it is a Danish tradition. So,
That's cool. I've never heard of that one. We don't really have any heritage, I guess. We one thing we do, like our Christmas season kicks off on Thanksgiving. You know, we watch the Macy's Day Parade, we do Thanksgiving, and then
oh,
the
yeah.
evening time after you're kind of like settled down a little bit, we bust out the Christmas decorations, we start decorating, and then we put Home Alone on. Home Alone's like our big, that's our Macy's Day Parade is
That's your
Home Alone.
kickoff. Santa
Yeah.
arrives, you eat turkey, then watch Home Alone.
Yeah, we throw on the Home Alone. We're putting up the Christmas tree. We're all decorating together, and it's just like a relaxing way to just end such a stressful. Like we've never, we do have people over sometimes, and this year we went to her parents' house, but we like to kind of like do it just ourselves. So once everybody's has either left or you've gone home, kind of make it a thing. This year we didn't really, since we went to her parents' house, we didn't really decorate together except for the tree. But we do a
I,
couple other things too. What's up?
I start doing it when people are still here. Well, the last dish is washed, and I just start like, oh, I'm just going to switch these mugs
Oh,
that are
let me get
hanging
around you
on the
there,
wall.
partner. They're holding like a
Yeah.
nice little like it's summertime mug, and you're like, nope, let me get that out, and you just pour it into the.
Well, the first thing I do is I have all these pumpkins out that have Jack faces on them. So I turn them around for Thanksgiving, and then I turn them back around and put Santa hats on them. So I
You're
literally
like
just start twisting the
you're
Jacks
like
back
Disney,
around.
That's like how
Yeah.
Disney's like you're still getting the Halloween stuff those couple days into November, and but you can see them in the background like switching things out. Like Busch Gardens was doing this. It was still
Oh,
Halloween
yeah. Horror
horror,
Nights does
whatever.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see them putting up the lights for the Christmas tree and stuff, and you're like, wait a second, it's Halloween.
Yeah. Well, what's funny now is I still have some real pumpkins out, so I have to check them every now and then to make sure they're not rotting on my like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
console or whatever.
We do Elf on a Shelf, of course, too. The elves come. That kind of marks on Oliver's birthday. The elves show up
Yeah,
on
we've
Oliver's
been
birthday.
doing
It's a
that
very big thing.
12 years
And
now. He shows up Thanksgiving as soon as Thanksgiving dinner is
oh
done.
well, we do Oliver's birthday is December 1st, so it kind of marks like, all right, 24 days to Christmas.
Well,
Here
that's
you go.
Advent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a roundabout way for Advent. We get holiday wine, mostly the Hallmark holiday wine, because you know how I am about my
Do mulled
movies.
wine.
We do mulled wine a little bit. We're gonna go to a this weekend. There's something called Grand Illumination in Williamsburg, where they do like a big Christmas market every weekend in December, and then they do fireworks at Old Williamsburg, like at the old Governor's Palace and stuff. And so we're gonna do that this weekend. And they have like mulled wine, but they don't sell hot chocolate there. It's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Yeah. And then the last thing we do is like a big gingerbread party where we invite people over. We buy like a ton of graham crackers. We make our own frosting. We cut the graham crackers in like house part shapes.
Yeah, we've
We
done that.
buy, yeah, we buy a bunch of candy and people, it's always the adults who come in and they're like, oh, this seems kind of lame. But then
Then
they
get
start to
into it.
do it. Yeah, they get really into it. We used to give out like prizes. And then the one thing we ask is you have to get your picture with your gingerbread house in front of the Christmas tree at the end. Like
Oh,
that's a
that's
thing.
fun.
And we'll send it to them. And if you're not somebody we care about, like we'll delete it after we send it to you. That sounds mean, but like I'm not just gonna keep like one of my friends on my phone to be like, oh, I'm just gonna keep this forever. It's more of like, hey, this is a memory. Like
See, I still
I'm
make
big on
photo
memory.
albums.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
So yeah, if I take the pictures, they're generally going to end up in my. Although I'm
Well,
2 years
I'm
behind. You're in
really
one of our
big.
photo albums when you
Oh
guys came down here for Disney and we did
my
the beer
God.
crawl.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you're also on our vacation wall.
Oh, look at that.
It's
Look at that.
amazing.
We've made it, guys. That's all. I'm sure we do have some photo albums, and we've slacked on it. We haven't done anything recently, but that's amazing. Look at us. Um, let's go into some geek themed stuff. We do a character themed ornament every year. Everybody in the family picks out an ornament every year. Oliver's this year was Blue Beetle. He really wanted Blue Beetle.
Aw.
Harper's was Draculaura from Monster High. What was mine? Oh God, it was something that I've been obsessed with this year. Now I can't remember, and I can't remember Carrie's. Goodness, I'll have to fix this next week because I can't remember to save my life. But we all do like, and we write the year on the bottom of it, and we put it on the tree and everything like that. So we've got Batman ones, we've got Green Bay Packer ones, I've got Star Wars ones, and
Yeah.
Trolls on the tree, and Paw Patrol, all that kind of stuff is pretty cool. So that's what we have on
Yes.
the tree, and then we also do the Lego Advent calendars. This year was Guardians of the Galaxy, which was kind of mid in my opinion, but
You always
the
got some
kids
weird
picked it up.
ones.
Yeah, like I like the minifigs, but then they just give you like these weird
I
lame,
know. That was like, here's a
like, what is
turkey.
this?
What? I don't know about a turkey.
Yeah, like so that's what we do is like as far as nerd themed is we definitely go for the Lego Advent calendars. We almost did the Funko Pop ones, but I didn't really care about the
Well,
Funko
that's
Pop
got to be
ones.
expensive.
Yeah, well, they're about the same price
Oh,
because they're
okay.
tiny. They're like miniature Funko Pops.
Yeah. We're doing the droids this year, but I got it on discount.
I will
But yeah,
say
Santa.
too, sorry, real quick, we do have a gingerbread themed bathroom, so we get the Funko Pops that are gingerbread superheroes. We have those as decorations.
We have a couple of those. That's cute. But yeah, Santa brings the kids an ornament every year. And last year he brought Logan a bag of potato chips ornament because that's what he
That's
loves.
amazing.
So Josh always gets me some sort of, it started with Wolverine. So it's always been some sort of geek themed ornament every year for Hanukkah. So I can use it that year. So this year he got me an ornament. And I knew he got it at Hot Topic because he's like, I was with him and I was like,
He was
okay,
probably
whatever. I'm
really
not gonna like,
scared to walk. Oh, I was gonna say if he went by himself, I can just picture Josh being, "What the fuck am I? Like, where is
no.
this?"
No, he's gotten. I mean, I've gotten Walking Dead, I've gotten Star Wars, I've gotten mostly Marvel. That's how it started. But what was funny is this year, so he got me Loki, but obviously I didn't know. But I looked and I saw all these Nightmare ornaments, so I just assumed it was Nightmare. And I told one of the kids, I go, I really hope Dad got me the VHS Nightmare, but don't tell him because if he didn't, I don't want him to go back and go get it. Well,
Uh,
they told him that I said that, but they didn't tell him which one. So he literally bought every single Nightmare one that was at
what a
Hot
guy,
Topic.
though.
So now I have Jack, Sally, the VHS, Oogie Boogie, and Zero, and Loki is what I got for Hanukkah this year.
That okay, but that's really nice.
I
That's
just
cool.
started
I
laughing. I thought it was hilarious.
because like as a man, you like okay, like Carrie will drop hints, and she says she's dropping hints, and me, I'm like, what? I don't know what the heck you're talking about. And so like she has to be very direct. But because one year she was talking about, I guess she wanted an Apple Watch. Well, I didn't know she wanted an Apple Watch. And so I got her an Apple Watch after the fact of Christmas because I had no idea. And then I got her like the wrong brand of like shoes one year. So it's funny that like now that I would do that same thing as like I'm buying all of it. And I actually did figure out what my ornament was. Carrie got a cactus ornament, and I got
Mm.
in the Abominable Snowman from Rudolph because I am
Oh,
obsessed with the Abominable Snowman from Rudolph. That's like my favorite Christmas themed character
I'm
going
surprised
back
you
into
don't have that
geeks.
glass.
I wasn't drinking it tonight because I was going to, but I already used it this year. So I felt it's one of those like, I'm not going to wear this dress
Gonna mix
twice.
it up.
Yeah.
God forbid. We're being filmed.
God, I'm on camera.
But we also always get the Christmas bomb every year from Prairie, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
That turned into tradition. My dad and I share it, and then the kids. I know I've even mentioned this before. We take the label off and we get a pen and paper out, and the kids. It's a highlights thing where you find all the differences. We've never found all of them. It is very tricky.
Hmm.
Then we always do beer shares.
Very nice. What kind of so you do beer shares? That's one of the things you do. All right. I don't really have
Yeah,
like beer
2 days in a row
specific.
because the parents are divorced.
Yeah, that's nice. You get two beer shares in a row. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well,
I don't really do any beer specific. I guess it's stout season. So I go for like the Christmas themed stouts
always
mostly.
stout
But it is always
season.
stout season in my opinion. So I don't have any Christmas or holiday related stout specifically. I guess my alcohol thing would be the holiday wine, like the Hallmark wines that they sell. It has to
Right.
be red blend because red blend, I like the dry kind of wines. I can't do sweet wines. Ugh.
No, me
They
neither.
are just like drinking pure sugar, and I'm an old man. Can't be doing that. It's gross. Now, let's go into our cooking segment. Unofficially, of course, sponsored by Hot Barons. Shout out to our friend Hot Barons. Go to hotbarons.com. They have all sorts of brines and rubs. We love to brine our turkeys. in their collab brine that we did with Bottle
With
Share and Hops
beer.
News and beer. And it was perfectly great. I thoroughly love the brand of Hop Barons. You can pretty much use promo code Hops News and get free shipping if that's still live. Hopefully it is. But those guys are
I believe it
amazing.
is.
It should be. I've used it recently. I won a competition with them recently. They sent me a bunch of stuff. I've been meaning to do a contest. But anyways, unofficial, of course, that is our thing. So what are some good like cooking things that you guys do?
I don't know. I hate cooking. The brining of the turkey has been nice because like I feel like turkey is so bland and dry, but when you brine it, the meat like falls off the bone. And so I'm actually gonna do by the time this comes out, I'll have like a TikTok showing how I brined it because you actually have to like soak it in beer with the beer brine. And so the beer brine has actual hops in it. And then you have to like flip the turkey and put it in the fridge and boil the beer and all that stuff. But it's really good. So if you make turkey on Christmas, I recommend ordering it. And like I ordered it, I don't know, like Friday before Thanksgiving, and I had it by the following
Oh,
Tuesday.
their
Like,
stuff comes fast. Yeah.
yeah, they
And
say like, oh, it'll be X amount of days, and it always comes
I
super
used
duper
Boston
quick.
Lager from Sam Adams. I found that that gives it something to it and it works really
Mm,
well. That's the beer. I've experimented with other beers. You can use like whatever beer you want. I found
yeah,
lagers and primarily the Boston Lager from Sam Adams because I don't really buy Sam Adams to drink it. It's more of I cook with those kind of beers. And
I did Yingling
that's
this year.
yeah, like Yingling and Sam Adams are the two I would say are best to cook with if you're doing a beer-based recipe.
Yeah.
Something about them just works really well. There's like that golden amber taste to them.
Well, like when I do like because I'll do beer brie too, which literally all I do is open a beer, pour some beer on the brie, stick it in the oven, and wait until the house smells good and pull it out. And
Ooh,
if I use a too much of a hoppy beer, the kids are like, "This tastes like beer," but it all gets cooked out. But it's supposed to be as a kid, my mom was like, "You're supposed to use cooking sherry," and then she would always just pour red wine on it. And then when I got more so to just drinking beer, I just poured beer on it and stuck it in the oven. So
no,
that's a great thing to do.
that's a good
Super
idea.
easy. But I feel like Alicia Silverstone and Clueless every time I make it because I just like drop the cheese in there, pour beer in, and stick it in the oven until
It's
I smell
easy.
it.
It's two ingredients, man. That's all you actually I might try that this year.
Always good to have something baking when a boy comes over.
That's true. I maybe I'll try that this year when we go to Carrie's. We're gonna go to Carrie's family's for Christmas for the first time like ever this
It
year.
is
In our 10
delicious.
God, we've been married about 9 years now. So it's the first time we've ever spent Christmas there. I might try that because Christmas Eve, we're actually gonna be at the Packers Panthers game. So we won't be doing Christmas Eve stuff because we'll get back probably like 7, 8 at night. And we're gonna watch Hallmark
We'll
movies
be
with her sister
dancing
and
around the
stuff.
tree right around then.
Well, we're gonna as soon as we get back, we're actually talking to her sister. We're buying a bunch of different alcohols to make a drinking game out of Hallmark. So we're gonna watch Hallmark movies. We're gonna get the kids gifts and stuff like that. But one thing I love to do is Christmas cookies. I love to bake. Like for some reason, I love baking. I make so many. I make gingerbread cookies. I make sugar cookies. I make these really good chocolate peanut butter
Hey,
cookies.
you sent us cookies one year. They're pretty
Yeah,
damn good.
I love to bake. It's like any and all cookies, like those Hershey Kiss ones. I forget the name of them all the time. Make
Like the
those ones.
drops or something.
M&M cookies. Probably actually what I'm going to do this weekend is bake a ton of cookies to take to work for a lot of the people at work who don't have anybody visiting them for Christmas. Be like, hey man, thinking about you because I love to do that if I'm home for the holidays when there's Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. I like to invite the younger airmen over to be like, hey, instead of eating shitty like food at home or takeout,
Right.
like we'll cook. You come. It's we got a house, but since we're not going to be here this year, obviously I'm not going to do that. Because I know what it's like. Because I've spent a few Christmases in the Middle East, and it's kind of one of those
Mm.
things. Like it gets depressing, right?
Yeah. It's
Uh,
when you play Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas and cry over some shitty
yeah,
turkey
you
and
eat
gravy.
shitty burnt turkey that and stuff like that. So I like to do that. Christmas cookies is like my way to give back. I love to just bake. I don't really even like to eat them. I like the smell of the house because it smells like cookies, and who doesn't love that smell? And I just distribute. I might even get them
They
out
sell
to everybody in my
candles that smell
neighborhood.
like cookies.
They do. I have a couple. Of course, I go to Bath and Body Works, man, and I get the holiday themed candles. That's a big one.
I do the soy ones at Target are pretty good. Like the Christmas tree one. Oh my goodness. It smells
Those are good.
amazing.
Those are good ones. Yeah. And that's really the only cooking thing. We do ham on Thanksgiving. So typically it's like ham, mac and cheese stuffing, and rolls, mashed potatoes, corn, green bean casserole. Corn casserole is like my favorite dish
Love green
besides
bean
carrot
casserole.
souffle. And then what's your go-to like dessert on Christmas Day?
So Christmas Day we don't have a go-to because we're mainly about Christmas Eve. I mean, it works out well now that both my parents are here. Do Christmas Eve with my dad, Christmas with my
That makes
mom.
sense.
But with my dad, our go-to is apple cake, which is again a Danish
Oh,
tradition. But we're not really about. I mean, the apple cake's good, but it's not like or now it's rice pudding. It was apple cake, and then my best ma
what are you,
passed
40
away
10? Like, that's an old, like, rice pudding. What are you in the old folks' home?
because okay, so my best ma,
You're
which
a
is
baby.
grandma in Danish, she always wanted apple cake. My stepmom, who makes it, is not a fan of apple cake, and she's like, "Well, the original Danish thing is supposed to be like rice pudding." So now she makes like, I'll take a
What?
picture this year and send it.
Rice
But
pudding
here's
makes
the
you think
thing.
of baby food.
Here's the thing,
You're
though.
right. We
You're
don't judge. I'm
supposed to
sorry.
hide a thimble in it, but we hide a little Viking ship.
And then you choke?
And then whoever finds it, no, you all, as soon as you get it, you go "Duk, duk, 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 duk," because you want to see if you
Oh,
won.
I'm literally thinking of baby food. I'm sorry. That's all I can picture in
But
my head is
no,
that
there is,
consistency.
it's thicker. But you, whoever gets it wins, and then they get a box of chocolates in, but you have to share it with everybody because that's the good luck for the year.
No, fuck
But my
that. You
brother
won.
is a
Why would you share?
cheater and he takes bit, but you have to eat what you take if you're going to win, though. And of course, he calls me a cheater and I call him a cheater, but he's the real cheater. But that's the whole point of eating the rice
Cheater,
pudding is
cheater,
to
pumpkin
get
eater.
the Viking ship.
Huh. That's actually okay. No joke. I think that's really cool. It's like a spin on Mardi Gras, with the baby and the cake and
Yeah, it
that's
kind
really
of is.
cool.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
that is
So,
really cool.
I mean, at this point, I'm only, I don't know, 12% Danish, but we still, these traditions are just family
Well,
traditions
that's
that
what
have
it
been
is.
passed
It's
down.
less about like that's what the holidays are, man. You don't have to be religious because I'm not religious. You don't have to have a specific heritage. It's these traditions to make your own. And that's the best part about just the holidays, in my opinion, is like you don't have to love every aspect. It's more about coming together with people you care about. It doesn't have to be family, even. It could be friends. And making these traditions your own is the best part about Christmas.
You know what's a great tradition that has died, and I'm happy for it, is dressing up. If you look at pictures from
Oh
like I was a
yeah.
baby, my dad is wearing a suit to Christmas dinner.
No. No. I'm
Mm,
coming in like flannel and jeans, baby. That's what I'm wearing.
yeah. I've worn this to Christmas before with
Yeah, there's no need to get in a
my
suit. Like
Mickey
you're about to
Santa
eat
shirt.
yourself uncomfortable and drink uncomfortably. Like there's no need to come in like that. So
No.
not about it. Now, all right, that was our cooking segment. We're about to roll into our Christmas movies. However, we are going to have a completely different unofficial beer sponsor for this next segment, and we will return in just a moment. Welcome back. We are here. I had to get a refill. So, you know what? This is our second half of the Christmas episode where we are talking Christmas movies, whether it's the top five we can't live without, the top five underrated, top five overrated, some nods, of course, and then we're going to talk some Christmas comics and core Christmas memories. So, first things first, though, let's talk about the beer for this segment. I am drinking Sycamore's Christmas Cookie Winter Ale. It is 7.5%. Sycamore, apparently, this Christmas cookie one is a very highly sought after. It's out of North Carolina, brewed and canned in Charlotte, to be exact. We brew this very special beer just once a year, filled with Christmas cheer. It's bound to make Santa jolly. And I think I'm gonna actually try to go to this brewery when I go to the Packers game because it's in Charlotte and it's very close to the stadium. And
Nice.
yeah, man, it's got a cool little festive can. It smells like a Christmas sugar cookie, to be honest with you. It's nice and kind of dark
Ooh,
too. It's like very, very nice.
very nice. So
Oh,
will you,
oh God, that taste. That tastes so good. That is a Christmas cookie in a glass, but
is it
it's not overly
sweet?
sweet. So it tastes like a winter ale, but the aftertaste where it kind of lingers with you, it tastes like a sugar cookie fresh out of the oven. It
That's an
is
intense description.
I gotta get to Total Wine because I have beer to send you and yeah, let me swing by Total Wine after the comic book shop because they're close and let me get you this beer because you got to
Wait,
have this one. It
Total
is
Wine in the comic book shop are close?
they in Costco. They're all like within a mile of each other. It's pretty nice. It's this beer is good. Yeah, I can see why Sycamore Christmas Cookie is a highly sought after beer because this one is freaking amazing. What do you got replenished?
So I have an Evil Twin Brewing double IPA. It is double dry hop with Citra Cryo, and Mosaic. It's not as citrusy though as I would think it would be. It's taste wise. It looks very citrusy. It does smell very citrusy, but it's not as juicy in the face. But it is very good. The mosaic cuts it well. And it is called, I'm literally so excited to go and see the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. And it
Okay.
has the
Okay.
Rockefeller Center Christmas tree
We
on it.
gotta we gotta talk about this for a second. Friday night last week, I was sitting there. I was pissed off about work. Work's been a lot, right? Carrie has been talking about that Rockefeller Center Christmas tree nonstop. Like that is her like bucket list item. And I was like,
Mm.
fuck it, let's do it. The
Oh, you
Packers are
guys are
playing Monday
close.
Night Football. It's a 6 hour drive. We're gonna go up Sunday, spend Sunday, Monday Night Football, and then we'll come back Tuesday. My boss denied it for no reason. He just said no. And so we didn't get to do it. But that Rockefeller Christmas tree has been a sensitive subject in the household
Mm.
of the Roths because yes, I actually want to see it too. Number one. Number two, like Tracy, I want to shout out Tracy real quick because she offered her home to us like the week of New
Oh,
Year's.
she's so
She
sweet.
did. She was
Oh,
like,
because she'll be
"Oh,
down here actually.
yeah." She was like, "If you want to stay at our house, I would love to, but Tracy, I don't want to stay at your house until I've met you." Number one. Number two, like if I'm going to New York City, I want to see Tracy because Tracy and I have been friends for like 3 years since this podcast inception, and we've never actually met. And she sent beer, and so no, Tracy, I'm
She's
not going to
so
stay at your
nice.
house. Like I love you to
So,
death.
I mean, I've known her for years, but the first time I was in her house was without her because Brielle and I stayed there when she was in Hawaii with the Buckaloos. Her brother let us in, but like obviously I had met her a million times. And then when we went out there last time, we went a day early, and Josh and I stayed at Tracy's with Tracy this time. But like
I love
when we stayed
Tracy.
there, like Brielle and I slept in Tracy's bed because it's
Yeah.
New York. She's got a 1 bedroom apartment, but she's got like comfy couches that have like can make turn into beds in her living room. And when I arrived, she had a beer ready for me, and she had Supernatural on.
She is
The best
literally
host.
the best human being. I cannot wait to meet her in the summertime because I promise you, Tracy is like the best human. She's the best of all of us. No joke. But that was super nice of her to offer. Yeah, I think if I'm here next year, we're gonna go to Rockefeller. We're gonna plan it all out. But that's been a very, very sought after thing. But
We
speaking
did
of
it about
Rockefeller,
10 years ago.
it's one of those things you gotta see once. It's just one of those
Yeah.
things.
We saw Josh is like, why are you guys staring at the windows? I'm like, it's part of the experience. We're all
It's
looking at the Christmas windows.
that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's the experience. Like, yes, we get it. New York City's going to be crowded as crap this time of year, but it's the experience.
Oh
However,
yeah.
I will not go to New York City on New Year's. Like, that
Oh
is an
God, no.
absolute no.
We were there the night they were lighting the tree, and we were like, oh, should we walk down there and see it? And we turned the corner and we're like, nope. Like it was a
Just
shit show.
kidding.
And Brielle was only one, so we had the stroller
Yeah.
with us and the ergo.
Oh God, no.
But it was funny, not funny, is like again, Josh did not grow up with Christmas, so he all of this is not nostalgic and warm fuzzies to him. And we had reservations at the American Girl Cafe for brunch, which was a big deal. Kaylee was big into American Girl at the
Oh,
time.
they're making
I
a movie of that, by the way. I just saw it
Oh,
today.
they've made a few of them, but
Oh,
like
there's a new one. So I don't know.
I hope it's about Kirsten. And so, I grew up loving it and never got a doll and still have a lot of resentment about that. And so we're almost to the American Girl doll store. And then I go, Kaylee, where's your doll? And she's 11 at the time, I think, 10 at the time. And she just starts crying. She left the doll at the hotel. Josh hauled ass to the hotel, got the doll, met me and the girls at
Josh
American
is
Girl
such a
store.
guy. What a
And
guy.
he gets there. He's like, it was funny though, is he was talking to some guy. He's carrying this doll around New York on the subway by himself, just him and this doll. And he was ran into somebody, and some guy was making jokes about it. And then we saw that guy later. And I'm like, what was that guy talking to you? And Josh is like, yeah, we were talking about me. He goes, oh, there's your doll. I see the little girl got your doll.
It just makes me think of Jingle All the Way. Which is a good segue into the top five cannot live without Christmas movies. Let's work backwards from the bottom of our lists. What is your number one cannot live without Christmas movie?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's fair. Again, not a horror movie.
Technically Halloween, but
No,
it's Christmas too.
he is but they don't spend time during Halloween. They spend the movies about
Right.
Christmas.
I only say it's
He
Halloween because Tim Burton said that.
Correct, but it takes place the day after Halloween. He roll into Christmas. So I get you, Tim
And it
Burton. Cool.
ends
Yeah, I get it. You
Christmas
directed
morning.
and made the movie, but you're wrong. So you can. One of those movies that fits for both.
Yeah. Well, for me though, like I remember how I felt the first time I watched it. Like I remember when they were singing "This Is Halloween," being like, "Oh, it feels like Halloween." And then as soon as you got to "What's This," I was like, "Oh, this feels like Christmas." And it was like you just combined my, two favorite holidays,
Well, like the thing
and
with
it made
Jack
me
is like,
feel awesome.
or the thing with that movie is they capture the spirit of Christmas. Yeah, Jack goes about it the completely wrong way, but I
Just
think
so
that's the
precious and
message
innocent.
though,
Yeah.
is he wants to get that Christmas spirit. And that's the message of the movie is the Christmas spirit. And
He
he
tries to
learns in the
scientifically
end.
explain it, and then he realizes he
Yeah,
can't
because
scientifically
you can't
explain it.
explain
He
Christmas
feels
spirit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Christmas is a vibe.
Yes, it
It's
is
a
a vibe.
vibe.
Speaking of Christmas spirit, I didn't share my super duper awesome elf
Oh,
glass.
happy 20 years to Elf. Now, my last on the list, I'm gonna I'll give this one to Carrie first. She says White Christmas. Now, I don't really care about White Christmas. It's the Bing Crosby, you
I've
know?
seen it years ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on Netflix.
But for some people,
However,
that's like a classic kick off the year kind of
it
movie.
is. However, the consensus in our household, it's the Jim Carrey version Grinch with Taylor Momsen, which it always is kind of weird to me that Taylor Momsen, I cannot look at her the same because I
She's so
literally have,
like punk rock.
well, she's punk rock. Like I've seen her boobs and stuff on screen.
Oh,
That's the weird
not
part.
little
Like,
Cindy Lou Who.
yeah, like she's so innocent in this, and then like she's ripping cigs, fucking flashing the crowd and stuff, doing her punk rock thing. I'm like, Cindy Lou, my God, did you learn nothing from this movie? However, no, like the Grinch is this is the only version, not the only version. I like the 1960s version. However, this is the one that's always on in our house. I love this movie. I quote it so much. Like, cheer up, dude, it's Christmas. And all of those kind of things. This movie for me, it's the second movie that kicks off our Christmas season. What you
That's
got
fair.
next?
I'm gonna go. This is hard to put them in order. I'm gonna go The Ref.
Ooh,
So this was a movie. So I guess another Christmas tradition I have is since I was 16, we do Bizarro Christmas every December 23rd with me and my high school friends. Of course, now just the kids exchange presents. And even when we don't get down south to see everybody, we still do Secret Santa with everybody and send presents and FaceTime each other and stuff. But before we all had kids and we got to celebrate Bizarro with us, we would watch The Ref. And so it's one of all of our favorite movies, but it's also one of those movies that gets funnier every time you see it. I mean, it's got Dennis Leary in it. He's hilarious. And I still can't believe you haven't seen this movie. Do you know the premise of it?
no, you bring it up every year, and I
It's so
forget
good.
every year.
We already watched it this year. We let Brielle watch it for the first time. There's a couple parts where I'm like, okay, close your like we tried to let Brielle, or maybe it was Kaylee years ago, watch it. And as soon as they put it on, I'm like, oh, this isn't appropriate. Turn it off. So it starts and it's very pretty and it's so Christmassy, and the kids are looking at these Christmas toys in the window, and then it cuts to Kevin Spacey and I can't remember
Ooh,
who
Kevin
plays the
Spacey,
wife.
yikes.
Well, I have it on DVD, so I'm not giving him money every year. And they're in marriage counseling, and it's so fucking funny because the therapist is very calm and they're telling a story. And then at one point, she's trying to get like the therapist to side with you, and he's like, "I'm not here to take sides." She's like, well, "What the fuck good are you?" And then at one point, they both like scream at the therapist, like, "Fuck you!" It's hilarious. And then when they're leaving, she goes into the store. It's Christmas Eve. She goes into the store to grab something, and she gets kidnapped by Dennis Leary because he was robbing a house and almost got caught, and he's like trying to hide because the cops are looking for him. So he's like, "Take me to your house so I can hide," and he essentially ends up refereeing their marriage.
Oh, okay. I now I see why it's called the ref.
Yes, but then like he has his mom and his brother and her family coming over, and it's just so hilarious because the way that they're still fighting and arguing with like this guy has like a gun pointed at them, and it's just fantastic.
I do. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Now, this one might surprise you because it's a little lower on my list after being the one that kicks off my holiday season, but I'm going to put Home Alone 1. Okay. Home
That's
Alone 1
okay.
and 2 are the same movie in my head because
That's
they're
fair.
both, we watch them religiously. So I'm going to put just the Home Alone. There's only two Home Alones
And
that
there's
actually exist.
right,
It's
and there's
1 and
no, I
2.
was just gonna
There
say
was no
that. There's
sequels
no
ever
other
made.
ones. Nope. Not even with Scarlett Johansson.
Nope. Oh, I forget. She was like a kid in that movie.
I wouldn't know. I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw that in theaters, believe it or not.
Yikes.
It was, I was young, man. I was a kid. I was obviously way younger, but yeah, there's only two Home Alone movies ever made. It was Home Alone 1 and 2. And that movie to me is like the unequivocal, cannot live without. You can't. The Wet Bandits, New York City. Again, you got the vibe in New York City because everybody would think Christmas is New York City. Then, of course, you got the McAllister house. It's Macaulay Culkin, Joe
Right.
Pesci. Like, come on, man.
I mean, yeah, we just did a
It's,
whole episode on this,
yeah, you
but
can't.
it's not in my top five because it's just so hard.
It is. It is hard. It is very hard. And
It's top
I'm
10.
gonna I'm gonna roll into this next one. It's my number three is Elf.
Same.
For the sole fact that it's Elf. Like, Need I
It's
say more?
hilarious beginning to end.
Elf changed
Christmas?
cinema and it changed Christmas, but also I think it was like the last great Christmas classic to actually come out, in my opinion.
It's a
My
family
opinion,
movie.
the last great Christmas movie that has actually changed Christmas movies and become an absolute classic is Elf. It came out in 2003, 20 years ago, and it launched Will Ferrell's career. And I don't want to get too much into it because we're going to do an
Didn't
episode of Elf
launch
next
his
week.
career, but I
I
mean, he was
mean,
already
it
doing old
didn't,
school and
but
stuff.
he became a leading man after. But
We,
we'll talk about it
yeah,
next week.
yeah, we'll
We'll
have
talk
a
about
lot
it
of
next
fun
week. I'm
facts and
gonna
stuff
yeah,
about it. Yeah.
next week's show is Elf. So I'm gonna put Elf there. What is your next? Yours is Elf as well for
Elf
the
as
team.
well. Yeah.
All right. What's your number two?
My number two is going to be, oh, wait, no, we're going backwards. This is my number four. Did I start? I started the best. Nightmares is my number one.
Oh,
Did I
you
do it
started the
wrong?
best. I went started from my least to best. Yeah,
Oh,
we
I
did them.
started from my best to least.
All right. Well, you started from your best to least. So you go next. I'm going the opposite. No, this is good because then we already
All
know your
right.
number one. We're getting to my number one.
Okay. So my number four is Christmas Vacation because, again, the older I get, the more I relate to Clark Griswold. And I just love all the lines. And you really start to feel like, you want to plan this amazing Christmas, but everybody's just driving you nuts.
That's true. That's my number two. So I'm glad you did that because that's my number two. It's my second favorite because it's I don't know, man. It's got everything. It's got the way Clark Griswold loves Christmas is the way I feel about Christmas myself. Yes, Chevy Chase is a shithead outside of the movie, but that's not the point.
But
This
I didn't
movie
know that till recently.
yeah, like the way he feel, if I had any sort of like
And I
willpower,
have
I
a
would do
I
the
have a
lights
DVD.
too. I just don't want to climb on the roof and I'm lazy, so I don't do that. However, his entire embodiment of we're gonna go to the middle of the forest, chop down our tree, like that's my
And then he
Christmas
doesn't have an
spirit.
axe.
That's me to a T because I would forget the axe. I love Christmas to the degree that he loves Christmas. I loathe, but yet love having family come over to the house and having people at the house. It's stressful. It's awful. Carrie would actually be smoking in the kitchen. Me, like it's a great, but at the same time, I would lose my shit. And it's everything about that movie is me to the
But
T.
love that he's trying to be wholesome. And he's like, look, kids, a deer, whatever he says, and he flicks off at
That's
them.
again
It's just,
me.
yeah,
It's
it
me.
just gets better and better yeah, just relating to him.
It does. And all right, so what's your bottom number five?
The Family Stone.
Never seen it.
This is one, I think I've said this before. I usually watch it every year by myself. Kaylee started watching it with me a few years ago. I think Brielle's going to watch it with me this year. It's a dramedy. So it's
Okay.
comedy, but it's also drama. Sarah Jessica
Drama.
Parker, Luke Wilson, the president from Secret Invasion, the guy from the show Coach. Apparently, I remember nobody's name. There's a lot of famous people in it, and it's like Diane Keaton and the guy from Coach, also Mr. Incredible. It's their kids are all coming home for Christmas, so it's very sweet to see. There are very sad parts, but it's a
Oh, I can see
family
why this one for you.
that's
Kaylee is
like,
coming back for Christmas.
oh well, I mean, I've been watching it for years,
I know. I
but
was
yeah,
just making sure.
but I mean, Kaylee lives 7 minutes away too,
True.
but I don't know why this one just speaks to me, and there's certain moments in it that I really love because it's like 1 second it's the siblings acting like full. I mean, like at Thanksgiving, my brother and I were talking shit to each other and being
Yeah.
assholes to each other, and it's like that's
That's
what you
just
do
what
with
it
your
is. That's just what you do.
right. So it's nice to see these like grown siblings doing that, and then 1 second it's the next second it's very sweet, and then they're ragging on each other's significant others, and but then you have these moments that are just very wholesome and very Christmassy and very cozy, and it's like it's what you want when you're done raising your kids at
Yeah.
Christmas, for all your kids to come home and have that.
Yeah. That's a good point. That is, I can see from my mom's perspective now because she's
Yeah.
very big on Christmas and stuff like that. My brother's birthday is Christmas Day.
Oy.
My grandfather's was Christmas Eve. So it's funny how that
Oh
works out,
my
right?
gosh.
Yeah. So Christmas is very big in our household. My number one, you've probably
Oh
guessed it.
God. I've
Everybody's
guessed
guessed
it.
it by now.
Oy.
It's turbo time. Man, it's Jingle All the Way. All right, guys, come on. I I know. All right, I recognize. I'm willing to recognize it's not a great film. It's great to me, but to the average viewer, like it's not in the upper echelons of cinema. I get it. I love Dunkin' Donuts. Again, that's not something that's amazing coffee, but I don't know what it is. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad fighting over a doll. It's
It's because you were little when it came
superheroes.
out.
I This is probably one of those movies you have to had watched as a child
Right.
to
I watched it for
love
the
it
first
today.
time last year because of you.
Yeah, and as an adult, you're not going to appreciate it like you would as a kid, and that's that easily.
It
Number
was
one
nice to see
movie,
Phil Hartman. I hadn't seen him in
yeah,
anything in a while.
Liz. Oh, Liz, these cookies are great. Put that cookie down. It's man, and the Phil Hartman being the heartthrob, like it was one of his final movies too. At that, it's really
Mhm.
sad, and yeah, dude, like the whole movie's great. The whole movie, man, it's ridiculous. It's over the top. It also like people don't realize like that's literally what Christmas shopping was like back in the day. If
Oh
you
my
did
gosh,
not get that
Cabbage
toy,
Patch Day dolls or Tickle
yeah,
Me Elmo.
there was no online shopping. It was you had to go to the store 3 days before they opened on Black Friday, or you were not getting that toy or TV or whatever it was. It's just something nostalgic about Christmas shopping. And yeah, that's my number one. Let's roll into our top five underrated Christmas movies.
I gotta cut one.
I will cut one. However, I'm gonna go ahead and say like the Muppets Christmas Carol is on there, even though it's not underrated. I don't hear anybody talk about it.
I do. I know
I
people are
don't see.
obsessed with it.
I
Oh my
don't know
gosh.
anybody
I
outside
need
of
to
my
make my kids watch
family.
it. I haven't seen it in a million years, and my kids have
We
never
watch it
seen it.
every year, a bunch, but nobody I
There was
know
talk
talks
about
about it.
how Alfred is like so good in it because he took himself so seriously and treated the Muppets like humans.
Oh, see, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's not my now. I'm gonna start with my number one. Hallmark movies, man. Hallmark movies. There's something, and there's a scientific explanation as to why Hallmark movies are as popular as they are. It's because they are predictable. People love to watch Hallmark movies because the stress of the holidays, the known factor of how this Hallmark movie is going to end is just like hits them. So for me,
yeah.
my number one out of all of them are Hallmark movies. So what do you got?
Um, for my number one most underrated for Christmas,
Yeah.
I would probably say The Night Before. I
Oh,
don't
very good movie. I love that movie.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are just now starting to kind of realize, and I don't know why, because the cast is Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like that's a
Yeah, it's
stacked
stacked.
fucking cast. I get that it's not a movie you can watch with your kids, and honestly, I watched it with my dad one year, and that was uncomfortable for a couple scenes. Um, but it's so funny and it's so again nostalgic, similar to Violent Night. Like so many references to Hans Gruber and She Home Alone Me, and it still has the fun Christmas feels too. And you get
It's
my
good.
husband loves it too, especially the scene when he's like, Seth Rogen has the giant Jewish star on his chest, and he like runs into
Yeah.
his wife at church, and he's all high, and then he's like, "We didn't do that," and he's like pukes in the freaking
I
church.
only watched this movie because you,
Oh,
funny
it's so
enough.
good.
It
But
is
I'm
really
just,
good.
I've seen like somebody did a TikTok on like how this movie is underrated. And like he's like, I've only seen it once. I just saw it. So that kind of, took me by surprise.
I
Normally I
never
would have
even
said
remember it
Nightmare.
coming in theaters.
Josh actually saw it in theaters. He was
Huh.
like, went with a friend and he was like, yeah, it was really good. So I think the next year, then or maybe we even rented it that year or something. I don't know. But he was like, yeah, this movie's hilarious. And he
It
was
is.
correct. It is hilarious.
It
And it's,
is.
oh, and it's got the one guy who plays the weed dealer. And like, they
That
mix in
narrows
a
it down.
Christmas Carol. No, the guy, he plays the weed dealer in the movie. He's a big, super duper famous
I don't
dude.
remember now.
I'm sure Tim will probably call me out on it, assuming he's seen the movie.
He already
Oh
got
my
one
gosh.
cameo.
It's Christmas. He gets two. And it's
That's
going to be a
true.
longer
We're in the
episode.
gift of the interest of giving.
Yeah.
Well, my number two is Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn.
That's another
It's
Kevin Spacey one.
oh, that's right. It is. Yeah, it's not great, but there's
He's the
something
bad
about it
guy.
that's yeah, like it's a good movie. He's the son or brother of Santa Claus, and Paul Giamatti is Santa Claus, isn't he?
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
the siblings anonymous group or whatever, and you have
yeah.
actually Sylvester Stallone's brother, Bill Clinton's brother. Like they're all in there
That's the
like
best.
I think
Yeah,
one of the Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin is there.
which
And he's
yeah,
like, I'm
it's
Santa's brother. They're like, you're not taking this seriously, man.
I like that movie. It's fun. It came out forever. Honestly, it didn't come out too far after Elf. I don't think it came out a long time. And to me, it's that one's a good one. And
That's a good one.
I'll roll into my number three too. Jingle Jangle. It came out within the last couple of years. It's got Forrest
I didn't
Whitaker
see
in it.
that.
Came out on Netflix. A really good movie. Really, really good movie. It also has a God. I always get them mixed up. from Key and Peele. He plays the bad guy. I don't. He's the
No,
bald
so it's
one.
Key or Peele.
Yeah, it's not the one. Oh my God, how do I? I don't.
Jordan
I.
Peele, or no, Jordan. I don't know.
It's
Is it the tall one or the shorter
the
one?
tall one.
Okay.
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
how I always
they
get them
did that to
mixed up, but
them
I do.
because they're always together in the show and it's called Key
Yeah,
and Peele.
but
That's fair.
obviously, um,
They don't look alike,
Jordan Peele is the one who does all the amazing horror movies.
but that's
So
behind the
it's
scenes.
Keegan Michael Key or whatever his name is does
And
the
then Jordan Peele.
yes, yes. So Keegan Michael Key plays the bad
Oh,
guy in this movie. It's really good, honestly. It's on Netflix. Came out a couple years ago. Highly recommend.
they're pretty funny. Um, so I have six. This is gonna be hard.
No, you can't put this movie for your favorite and underrated.
Why? The ref?
Okay, I guess you
But it is
can.
underrated.
But you already said okay. I'll give it to you. It's Christmas. I'm in the mood of giving.
Okay, yeah, the ref. I already explained why it's
Oh my God,
underrated.
what's your next one?
Arthur Christmas. I feel like
Oh,
that
I
movie
never
doesn't get
really
respect.
got into that one.
It's super duper cute. So it's about like Santa's kids and like, but like the one kid like Arthur Christmas and he's voiced by Xavier.
Yeah,
Apparently I know no actors' names tonight, just previous
Xavier,
roles
you're
they've
talking
played.
about Patrick Stewart,
No,
Sir Patrick Stewart. Oh,
no, young Xavier,
oh,
James
James McAvoy.
McAvoy. Yeah, so he voices Arthur, but he's like this kind of like goofy, skinny kid. It's animated, and he's Santa's youngest son, and so the older brother's supposed to take over, but Arthur like truly loves Christmas, and there's this one present got left in the North Pole, and he's like Santa, Santa, you have to take this gift to this kid, and like they're all about like statistics and meeting the bottom line and we're doing great and this and that and da, da, da. He's like yes, but this one kid they're like what are you going to do, and he's like no, every kid deserves a gift on Christmas.
That's
And
true.
it's very sweet, very cute, and I was kind of surprised that it didn't really take off in the realm of successful animated Christmas stuff.
That's
So
fair. No, I'll agree with that. It's I haven't seen it in forever, but yeah,
you learn there's always time for a bow.
I will go ahead and throw it my hat into this one. It's 8-Bit Christmas.
Yeah, I agree with
That
this.
movie kind of came and went for a lot of people, but it's Neil Patrick Harris. It again brings a very, very nostalgic factor where they're talking about getting the first Nintendo, man. Like
Yeah, I feel like
it's
because it's only on HBO Max.
yeah. I mean maybe. Yeah, that might be why, but I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. It just brings me back to when I was a kid again. And that's why I love that one. And then my number five, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. I feel like that came and went on Apple TV like 2 years ago, and
I think
nobody's.
again, no, that was last year, wasn't it?
It was last year.
I think
God,
it was.
I
But I
think
think
it might have
again, that's
been.
because it's only on Apple. But I do think that that one is getting recognition.
I haven't heard a single soul talk about it since it came out. So that's I'm living in a
I have
bubble,
the songs
maybe.
on my playlist. Good afternoon.
Yeah, that's yeah, like the whole number, like good afternoon, good
No,
afternoon.
we should pay for Apple for the month and rewatch that one.
If you do watch Godzilla show, The Monarchs, very
Oh,
good.
that's on there too. Okay.
Yes. So that's mine. What is your number five?
I don't know. This is hard. I have two more.
All right, give me your two then.
I don't know. Prancer. Did you ever watch Prancer in
I don't even know what
1989?
that is. No.
So Johnny Galecki was in two Christmas movies in 1989.
Wow.
Christmas Vacation and Prancer. So Prancer, this is probably one of those movies that if you watched it now, you would be like, "Oh, all right, okay, all
That's
right,
a
I don't get it."
movie. It's one of those you
But
had to watch as a kid. Let's like Jingle All the Way.
yes, I was 6 when it came out, and
Yeah, there we go.
uh, Florence Henderson is a crazy old lady in it, and it's this little girl, and she basically finds Prancer, and Prancer's injured, and she's trying to get Prancer help, and her dad's farm isn't doing great, and it's very cold and a lot of snow,
Oh
and like her dad's like ready to like shoot Prancer to put it out of its misery, and she's like, "No, it's Santa's reindeer," and of course nobody believes her, but
my God, that's
spoilers,
dark.
it is Santa's reindeer. What? But what's funny is watching it back when you see like Prancer, go with Santa. I don't think I'm ruining anything you didn't know was going to happen. The just lack of
It also came out in
CGI is
1989, so
so funny. Yes, but I always just loved watching that, and I think I related to the little girl. She was about my age. She was big believing in Santa, and for me, living, growing up in Florida my whole life, not having just snow like that, like seeing all the snow, and it was just, so
Oh, that's you
Christmassy.
bring up a really good point. We were talking the other night, Carrie and I. Isn't it weird how all the Christmas movies that like to us, Christmas is winter, it's snow, but like you're an Australian or South American and you're watching Christmas movies and all of our stuff is snow, but your Christmas is in summer.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
that's just weird to
just
think about, right?
yeah, it's just kind of how it, I mean, every now and then you see things, but
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, well,
interesting.
I remember when I was an undergrad, living in the dorms, and like my suite mate, who I'm still friends with, was from Jersey, and that Christmas, she's like, "This does not feel like Christmas. It is not cold. Like there's no snow."
Yeah,
And I'm
see,
like, "It
to
feels
me,
like
that's how I
Christmas to
felt when I
me."
was living in Florida. It was very hard the first year I was living in Florida because it wasn't there was no snow, it wasn't cold. And I'm from Massachusetts, so to me it's snow. And now it hasn't snowed in like Massachusetts in like 2 years now because, we've ruined the world, but it's one of those things like I always remember we would have snow on Christmas. It was very, very cold, and that was Christmas to me. And so waking up in Florida, it's like there's no snow. You're at the beach. Like it's weird. It
I
never
love going to the
sat
beach on
right with
Christmas
me.
though. No, but I don't know. I guess for me it was the norm. Cause like one of my favorite things to do Christmas morning is go to the beach. I know we were talking about it in the Discord, and like my dad's up here now, so we haven't gotten to do it in probably 2 years now.
Yeah.
And like you go to the strip in Fort Lauderdale, and like there's people driving by dressed as Santa passing out like dollar store gifts to
But
the
that's
kids.
cool
It's
though. Like it's
so
cool to see the different
cute.
traditions everybody has because we're in one country, but like we're so vastly different. Like to you, Christmas is going to the beach. To me, Christmas is waking up to 2 feet of snow and -30.
Mm.
Like that's
Or
the
boat
beauty of it,
parades. We
right?
have
Like,
boat
yeah.
parades here. Why are you
See,
going to
and
boat
we
parades up there?
we could, but we don't really do the boat because the ocean's like frozen. So
Oh, I didn't think of that. Well, like
yeah.
when my dad, lived on the canal again up until 2 years ago, we would go for a boat ride and go look at the Christmas lights because everybody would
Yeah.
decorate their
See, we drive around
backyards.
Christmas lights, not the boats or
I
anything.
mean, we do that too, yeah, and we'll go walk around too. There's still houses that go, get out of control. But I
Yeah.
used to love that
I
because
love
all
it.
these people would decorate their backyards, they would decorate their boats so that you could see it from the canals.
I feel like people don't really go crazy like they used to when we were kids, though,
Oh, I feel like people do more so. I feel like adults
I
are more into
don't.
Christmas now than they used to be.
Although I will say maybe it's the neighborhood I moved to, they were very into Halloween, so maybe I need to just drive around and get that spirit again because
Oh,
Idaho wasn't like that. We decorated, but
Erica still
no.
has her skeleton up.
Yeah, you got to decorate for Santa. Duh.
Yeah, she gave it a bib and a turkey, fake turkey leg for Thanksgiving. And now she bought a Santa seat cover at the dollar store and put it on its head. So she
All
has the
right.
12-foot skeleton. Looks awesome. All right.
What was your last one you had?
I was between Batman Returns and Bad Mom's Christmas, but I'm gonna go Bad Mom's Christmas because I didn't feel like it got the respect it deserved. I think even if you're not a mom, you'll enjoy this, but if you are a mom, you'll enjoy it even
I've only
more.
saw it once. Yeah.
It's just it's vulgar and it's funny, and they
That's
get
with the what's her
Catherine
name?
Hahn and Kristen Bell and Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. I was gonna say Misha Collins, but I was like, dude, that's not even close.
No, both awesome people.
Yes.
But they bring the moms into this one. So like Susan Sarandon plays one of the moms. You recognize all the moms. All the moms are good.
Yeah.
Well, and the one mom that played Mila Kunis's mom, she's in The Ref. She's in The Grinch. She's in a bunch of Christmas movies. But it's, you see this, like you get overwhelmed at Christmas, but you still want to make it magical. And then these moms like go to the mall and get drunk and sit on Santa. And some of it's a little over the top and
It
whatnot.
is vulgar, yeah.
But I there's
But as a
very
mom, though, there's like a
few.
lot of stress on you guys around Christmas more so than a dad. And so it's more about like letting loose.
Right. And there's not as many vulgar movies targeting
Moms.
women. We
Yeah,
have bridesmaids and we have bad moms, and I think that's it. I
that's
mean, don't get
fair.
me wrong. I love them. A lot of movies are targeted to people in general, but having those too, it's like girls can be raunchy and funny too.
Yeah. Why not? Right?
We can tell dick and fart jokes too.
It's true. You can.
How
What
dare
let's
you?
go into our most overrated Christmas movies. What do you got as your number one?
You're overrated is making me angry.
Oh yeah. Let's start with yours. What is your number
My
one?
most overrated is It's a Wonderful Life. I don't like that
Oh,
movie. I think it's stupid.
okay. I don't care about it. So I'll be honest with you. I just don't. I don't have a
George Bailey is an asshole.
like 30 Miracle on 34th Street's probably an overrated movie to me because I don't give a shit about that movie, but I didn't put it on my list. I put
I'm
Charlie
indifferent on
Brown
that one.
Christmas. That's my number
What
one.
is
I hate
my
Charlie Brown.
when you ring
Charlie
my
Brown
dad's doorbell
sucks.
at Christmas time, it says "Merry Christmas, Charlie
Charlie
Brown."
Brown sucks. Charlie Brown is bullied
I
hardcore.
know everybody's so mean to him,
Yeah,
but in this one, they're not. They end up telling him that was the whole story. They end up being like, "You didn't pick the worst tree ever, Charlie Brown. You're not totally worthless."
I don't like Charlie Brown. I
Did you
don't.
erase one of mine, or did I not
I
finish one?
erased one of mine because I put the Santa Claus, but I was like, I don't really like. I like that movie. I just didn't know if people thought it was overrated.
I like the Santa Claus. I like the Santa Claus
I
2
do.
as
I
well.
like the Santa
Don't like
Claus.
3.
So I didn't really put anything there. So, my number two, I will say, is A Year Without Santa. It's the claymation with like the heat miser and stuff.
I'm Mr.
Yeah,
White
I don't like.
Christmas.
It starts off with like, first of all, I have no
I don't
problem,
remember that one.
but it starts off with Mrs. Claus in drag wishing she was a man, and it's just I don't
I
care.
do
Like, first of all, I
not
don't
remember
care,
that.
but that I didn't either until I was watching it before this podcast, and I was just like, and then the more we watched it, I was like, this like doesn't have anything to do with Christmas. Just because it's Santa Claus, I was like, eh, eh. I don't know. That's that's my thoughts. What's your next one?
Oh, you erased Jingle All the Way. That's what was there.
What are you talking about? No, I didn't. You never put that on there. What are you talking about? That's
Just see
crazy.
Jay. I'm like,
That's
what did I
crazy.
have here?
That's crazy.
That's so
What?
weird.
What?
I well, honestly, until I met you, I didn't know people gave a shit about this movie. So
Everybody
it
gives a shit about it, okay?
it might not be overrated. Uh, but yeah, that's all I'll say about that. We did do a
Interesting.
whole episode on that last year.
Interesting. All right. I'm gonna go Christmas with the Cranks is my number three. I don't care for that movie. I'm
I like
sorry.
that movie.
I'm sorry. Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm sorry. Not sorry to Tim Allen because he's a piece of shit human being.
Oh, yeah, but I
But
like her in that, and I like the guy that's like Santa in it.
yeah, I just don't care about that movie.
And yeah, I think it's a cute movie, but it's not one I'm like, we have to watch this now.
That's fair. I've watched it like twice and that's it.
But it's
What do you got?
based on a book, The Year Without Christmas or something. My next one is Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that is a
Um,
Christmas movie, isn't it?
yeah, I just don't think it's very good. I think it's kind of cheesy. And I watched it for the first time maybe a year or two ago, and I was kind of
Love
disappointed.
is about more than being sorry or whatever
Is
it
that the
is.
one girl,
Anna
the
Faris,
Anna
yeah.
Faris? Yeah. And I really like the other girl. She was
The
like in
other girl
Varsity
was
Blues.
yeah, Varsity Blues. She was in Road Trip and all
Mm.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
What's the movie? Is she in the one with Ashton Kutcher where she like a Butterfly Effect?
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, where's my car? But that's right, Butterfly Effect. She was, yeah, that's a fucked up movie. But
It is a fucked up movie. At one point, I just pictured her like drugged out on like just looking nasty. I think that was one of the realities. Why are
I'm
you
gonna go.
smiling?
My number four is
Oh.
Christmas Story. You already know. I don't care for Christmas Story. I think
A
it's
lot of
overrated.
people don't. I think
It's
it's
not a
so
good movie.
cute.
It's not. It's
You
not.
liked the sequel though,
The
right?
sequel was good. I really liked the sequel, which is weird because normally that's not the case. Like sequels are
Right.
not better, but the sequel was great. The first one sucked, man. I do not like that movie.
I guess what I love about it though is it's from the perspective of the kid, and it's so cute and funny how he's like, "Yes, if I have this gun, I can defend my family." And it was literally like the mentality of a
He
child,
walks
like I'm
out
going to
chewing
shoot
a
the bad
spit like
guys. Yeah, it's just it's precious and it's innocent, and I love I relate to the dad at times when he's like cussing and the
oh
whatever the
God,
thing
yeah.
went out.
Oh fudge. Except
Yes,
I
I
didn't
just
say
think
fudge. I said the mother of all words.
but then seeing that the dad is still trying to make Christmas special, like he did still care. And I love seeing them drink wine first thing in the morning, Christmas morning. And then that end where the mom
The
and dad are sitting
the
there
dogs running
enjoying
through
the
the
tree.
house.
Oh, that was funny. But
That
at the very
was.
end, you just see the parents sitting there, looking at the snow while the kids are
All
sleeping with
right.
their toys. It's just very sweet and
I
cute.
think because it was on the 24 hours of a
I
Christmas
think that ruined
story,
it for a lot of
I
people.
think that's why. I do. I really do. I think
I
because
think Josh
TNT
doesn't like
plays
it because of that. And TBS.
yeah, they started playing it on like Christmas Eve and they don't stop playing it till the 26th when they start playing Star Wars. And it's I think that's what did it. I
Yeah.
truthfully think that's what did it for me because that's what my parents watched when we were growing up. They didn't put any other Christmas movie on Christmas Day except for
She
Christmas
got burned
Story.
out.
And so I
All
was
right,
like,
that's fair.
fuck this movie because I also hate my parents
I
and I'm
mean,
an angsty kid.
fudge this movie.
You're right. All right,
Did you
my
just erase
last
another one?
what? No, I didn't. I
What
haven't
are
touched the
you,
dock at all. What are you talking about?
another one?
That's
I don't,
crazy. What?
what
All
did
right.
I have there? I don't
You
even
put
remember.
Hallmark movies. So
Oh,
I had to just like Men in Black. No, you didn't.
Like, there's a ghost in here.
She did. Lauren put Hallmark movies. I couldn't stand for this. Just absolute, utter, just ugh, how could you do this? How could you?
Here's the thing, though. I guess I just don't get it. I wish I liked them. I've tried and I can't. I
That's
don't
why you
have
don't
it
like them
in me.
because you're not as cool as the rest of us.
I guess
And
so.
by the rest
All
of us,
right.
I mean all us old biddies at the bingo hall.
All right. So Love Actually. I don't get the hype around that.
I don't care for that movie at all either. I've watched it one time. Was like, that was a movie. Just like Four Christmases. That was another one. I was like,
Okay, I did like Four Christmases because that I could relate to that. Like before Josh and I got back together, I dated this one guy, John, for over 2 years. And so his parents were divorced, my parents were divorced, and we did the four Christmases and we did the four
that's
Thanksgivings.
exhausting.
It's very exhausting,
Oh my
especially because it was
God.
like my mom and his dad were in my or his mom were in Miami, and then our dads were both in Fort Lauderdale. So
Oh
we're
my
like,
God. The driving on one day.
yes, and we did
Did you
that.
stay for 30 minutes each?
No, we stayed long
Because
enough, but it
Orlando
was
to
so
Miami for one is
full.
3 hours.
No, I lived in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay, okay. That's still like a almost 2 hour drive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like an hour to Miami, an hour back. I mean, there's not as much traffic on Christmas,
That's
but I
fair.
mean, it was just one of those. I feel like I got to the point where I love the season. I hate the day. I don't hate the day. It's just the day is exhausting. And then having
Well,
Kaylee,
because it's a
you know,
constant, like, you got to run around. Yeah.
yes, and you want to give everybody your best because everybody's giving you presents and feeding you and being nice. And I always loved his family.
We're
They
so
were always
happy to
nothing but
see you. And
sweet
you're
to me.
like, I am too, but I'm just tired.
And Kaylee is exhausted because when I was dating him, Kaylee was tiny.
She's a
Um,
baby. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, we started dating when she was one in January, so I had two Christmases and Thanksgivings with him where we did the four Christmases. He's in Colorado. He'd be, one when we finally get out there. He works at a ski lodge. I'd love to see John and have a
Oh,
beer and go skiing
hey, hook us up, man. But my
one day.
number last one is Scrooged. I don't really care for the Bill Murray version of
So
Scrooged.
good,
I just
lumpy.
Bill, there's like a class of actors that have looked the same age forever. Bill Murray is one of them. Steve Martin's another, and Will Ferrell is the third one. They've always looked. I think that's why it's like Bill Murray to me. I think in that movie he's just always looked like older, and I'm just like, eh. I can't buy him as like
Yeah,
having a love interest with anybody. I guess is my big
and it's
beef.
Indy's love interest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's my big problem. And some random movies worth mentioning, of course, is Bad Santa, another 2003
that
movie that
was
was overshadowed by Elf.
Kaylee's first movie. It was also
Oh,
a different demographic. She was 2 months old, but Erica loves to regularly mention that that was Kaylee's first movie.
it's hilarious. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which has like the greatest Christmas song. It's I don't know, but
What
Christmas time
Christmas
is
is,
his,
but
but Christmas
Christmas
time
time
is
is
here.
here. And then the
Yeah.
elbow, the rain, rain, rain. We play that regularly in this house right now. All
Dear,
three of
dear,
them.
dear, dear,
Yeah.
dear.
You got
Yeah.
that. You got I Want an
Yeah.
Alien for Christmas. And then you got the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I like that. That's like our favorite one to do. Harold and Kumar is another one.
The Waffle Bot. Neil Patrick Harris is hilarious in that movie.
Yes. Yes.
That's the
What
one where like,
is
I thought you were gay. I'm gay for that. He's so funny.
I haven't seen
Uh,
this one, Last Train to Christmas. What is this one?
Okay, I haven't either. I was Googling Christmas movies to make sure I didn't forget anything or go back later and be like,
You
oh, that's overrated.
faker.
And I found this one called Last Train to Christmas. If anybody's seen it, let us know if it's worth watching. I think it might be worth watching. It was 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it has Michael Sheen in it, who is from Good Omens. And I absolutely love him in Good Omens, but I really wasn't familiar with him at all before that. And so I think I'm going to give this. It's also got the Carrie Yules
Harry
from.
Ells. Yeah,
Why can I never
I've
say
never
that?
pronounced. I can't either. It's
It's
from
like
Princess
Chris
Bride.
Ecclesian,
Yeah,
Eccleston.
Robin Hood, Men of Tights, and Princess Bride.
Tight, tight, tights. Yeah. So I'm gonna give that one a chance, I believe.
I'll check it out. 2021. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
but I never even heard of it.
Couldn't even tell you what it was about. Yeah, no, I had no idea. And so, all right, Christmas comics. Let's roll into some notable Christmas comics. What are some ones that you have?
So one we gotta do a shout out to Stevie Rena and Misty Graves.
Yes.
The Ex Machina.
Yes. Nope. It's Ex Machina. You got
Okay,
it.
that's what I thought. It's Santa's basically done with your bullshit. This is a
Credit
Kickstarter
card.
comic.
You got it.
And this one was a lot of fun. Again, a Kickstarter comic. I don't know if you could still get it,
I don't
but
know
it'd be
either.
nice
I
if you
don't think you
could.
can, but it was good. I mean, Santa was fighting evil elves, and it was pretty solid. I like that one. I'll give you that one.
I read
I
the one
will.
you read recently, The Stuff
Yeah,
of Nightmares Sleigh Ride. That was really good.
it was, wasn't it? It was, the guy was like schizophrenic basically, and he went crazy. And yeah, he is an R.L. Stine comic from Boom Comics.
And it's a
He
one and done, which was
one and done.
nice.
It's always nice. I like reading one and dones because you don't feel like there's some overarching commitment that you have to make, and because those
Well,
can be
especially because
exhausting
it's
sometimes.
Christmas. Like
Yeah,
I also got The Deviant, which I really very much so
have
enjoyed.
not read that one yet,
So the second one comes out December 20th, and then the third one comes out in January. It's going to be a 9 issue run. So I'm not reading any of these again until next Christmas.
dude.
So I
There are
will,
so many comics coming out next Wednesday. It's insane.
but I will, oh, maybe because they don't want to have them come out the following week.
Well, no, it makes sense. They're coming out right before Christmas for Christmas gifts.
Oh, Christmas gifts. Nobody's
Ah,
ever gifted me a comic book.
me neither.
I always get I've gotten the
Pose.
big encyclopedia books though from people.
Oh God, that's awful.
I use them for our podcasts.
There's another one that's come out recently. It's called Batman Santa Claus Silent Night, Knight. That's an ongoing run. There's 4 issues that will be in total right now.
See, again, the story's going to continue after because I saw that at my comic shop and I asked him. He's like, no, it's going to keep going next month,
It is. So that's one we're probably maybe next
next
year.
year.
Yeah, we'll do some of those. What else you got?
Those are the only current ones I have. I do have a couple notable stories from things I looked up, and I do have one of my brother-in-laws. I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to read it next week. When I got all those comics from my brother-in-law, I do have a fun
Hmm.
Christmas old school one. A lot of
Yeah.
their comics were from the 90s.
It was the
So
90s, man.
this comic was $1.25.
Oh,
Oh, this is 1991.
wow. I was a year old. Look at that.
Well, this is Josh's older brothers. So here's some fun ones that we've seen in the Marvel universe. So Santa is a real character in the Marvel universe, just like everywhere else. And during World War II in December of 1943, in the comic Marvel Age number 109, Hitler actually kidnapped Santa. He did this to lower morale in the States.
That son of a bitch.
Fortunately, though, President Theodore Roosevelt sent Cap, Nick Fury, and the Howling Commandos to save Christmas.
As he should have. Obviously, like, dude, you can't lower morale in just the States by kidnapping Santa. You're going to lower everybody's morale, you idiot.
Such an uncultured swine.
I'd go
Um,
back in time to kill baby Hitler just for that alone, but
I know who kills Hitler, but you don't.
oh, is it supernatural?
Maybe.
Welcome to your 4 Degrees of Supernatural Christmas edition, folks.
All right. Then in 1991, there was a Marvel Holiday Special published, and it involved a story featuring the X-Men and Cerebro. So Cerebro detected mutants that were on a rampage at Rockefeller Plaza during the holidays. One of said mutants they were detecting was said to be the most powerful mutant they had ever detected, and it turned out it was Santa. Santa is a mutant.
He
Na, na,
is.
na, na.
How else do you think he gets around to the entire world in one night? Come on,
It makes
guys.
sense.
Use your
So,
brains.
but apparently he has more powers than we knew because
Oh,
he stops the chaos by turning the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants into toys. Then he teleports the X Men away and erases their memories of the encounter. And then he makes it snow.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
So you have
And yeah,
another.
I don't. Those were kind of my things. So I do want to hit on one more thing because we had a couple late submissions as far as Christmas movies that I sent you.
Oh,
So
yeah.
why don't you
Right on top of that
hit
rose.
on my boy Jordan? First of all, I was out there in Idaho with him. Great dude. He of course loves Jingle All the Way like I do. So gentleman and scholar. What
Oh,
else you
yes.
got?
He said jingle all the way, jingle all the way, jingle all the way, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Look, that's why I love this man. Okay. That's why.
Andrew, who has been on the show, he was on the show when we talked about superheroes and mental health. He said his favorites are Violent Night. See, that's coming.
Yeah.
Everybody's picking up on that one. The Night Before, another great one.
Yeah.
A Christmas Story, another great one.
Yeah. Okay.
Charlie Brown's Christmas, another
All
great
right. All
one.
right. Cut her off.
And then Here Comes Santa, which I don't know. Here Comes Santa.
I don't either. I don't know that one either. That's a song.
Well, I know that.
I don't know that movie either, honestly.
Oh, side note, shout out in Fred Claus to Ludacris because he plays one hell of a DJ. Here comes
That's
Santa
right.
Claus. Yeah. Did I mention I watched that Dashing Through the Snow with Ludacris?
No. You did.
It
Was
was
it
kind
good?
of funny. It was all right. It was
But I
interesting.
haven't watched that or Candy Cane Lane yet. I'm saving that for this weekend.
But Ludacris literally says at one point, "This is ludicrous."
Oh boy. What are we, some kind of
Okay.
ludicrous? Oh boy. Oh
All
jeez.
right. So the other one you text me was Adam Berry. So his favorites are Christmas Vacation, Jim Carrey's
Yes.
Grinch, Home
Yes.
Alone, Elf, and Muppet Christmas Carol. That's a
Look,
solid
this
top
man just
five.
gets it. Adam, shout out to you, dude. You just get it. You just do.
Overrated, he said, A Christmas Story,
He
It's a
gets it.
Wonderful Life, Rudolph, Love Actually, and Miracle on 34th Street.
I mentioned Miracle on 34. Look,
And I
Adam,
mentioned Love Actually and It's a
big
Wonderful
ups to
Life.
you, my guy, because you just understand the assignment. He understood the assignment through and through. Big
So we
shout
only
out to
get
you.
four of his underrated because I have to click see more. Underrated is Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, Fred Claus, Scrooged, and Arthur Christmas. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Well, look at that.
And we'll
Look
never
at
know
that.
what happened in his last comment on that Christmas day.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and give us some Christmas fun facts and I can go ahead and deliver us what happened in the rest of his comment.
Okay. So a lot of Christmas traditions come from the ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia. It was the most anticipated week on the Roman calendar, and it was celebrated every December during the winter solstice. In paying homage to Saturn, the god of time and agriculture, Romans would take a week off from work, and even their slaves would do so, and they would decorate their homes with pine wreaths, light festive candles. They would attend crazy parties and feasts, and they would exchange gifts. When the Roman Empire embraced Christianity, many of these traditions then carried over to the celebration of Christmas. I had never heard that origin story, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, Another fun fact is there is a theory on the origination of kissing under the mistletoe that stems from Loki. So Loki actually killed Balder with mistletoe, and when he was brought back, Frigg, Balder's mom, was so grateful that she said she would kiss anybody who comes under the mistletoe. Did I do this? Okay. Are you coming back? Matt's texting me. I'll keep reading fun facts till he's back. So in 1955, at the height of the Cold War tensions with the Soviet Union, a general at the Continental Air Defense Command, which was CONAD, which is now CONRAD or NORAD, in Colorado, received a call on a top secret hotline. He got very nervous and was wondering what was going on. And then he hears a young boy asking, "Are you really Santa Claus?" The number had been mistakenly published in the newspaper as a Sears Santa hotline. Instead of just blowing the kid off, the now NORAD embraced the role as the official Santa tracker, using the massive satellite network once a year to broadcast Santa's exact whereabouts.
All right. I
We've,
love tracking Santa Claus in that every year.
yeah, we do that too.
It's so much fun. I do. I fucking love it, man.
So they now have 1,500 NORAD troops and volunteers answer the
They
phone
do.
lines on Christmas
They
Eve. But
do.
now it's
That's
all online too.
yeah, but it's no big deal. It's Air Force ran. So just a fun fact for you guys. Now, people in Japan actually eat KFC on Christmas thanks to a very successful marketing campaign by KFC called Kentucky for Christmas. That's hilarious.
It is
That's
hilarious.
hilarious. I love that so much.
I
The
double
2000,
fact checked that to make sure it was true.
like you're like, what?
This can't
The
be right.
2018 Grinch brought in $512 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing Christmas movie to the runner up, you guessed it, Home Alone. It's a Wonderful Life initially bombed at the box office. It was not
Rightfully
until
so.
1974 when its copyright expired and television networks could air it for free. Then, because of this, it cemented its place as one of the most beloved Christmas movies of all time, if you're asking literally anybody else but Lauren and I.
Well, I will say there is a nod in Supernatural. Meg calls Castiel Clarence after the angel in this movie.
His real name is Clarence.
The angel in It's a Wonderful Life.
Did Clarence's parents have a real good marriage?
Of course they did. That's why he lost the rap battle.
Oh, Jesus. Now,
Mm. And Clarence later gets wings
ooh,
because
spread
he's
his wings. He's a
Falcon.
peacock. He's got spread his wings and fly on this one, man. Denny's is known for its always open motto, decided to give employees the day off in 1988. However, the 700 of the franchises that closed had no locks per the policy. Thankfully, corporate was able to come through with last minute installations so that people can just walk in there on Christmas Day. And
Why wouldn't they have locks for like if there was like a
I'm a
hurricane or
little
something?
confused about that myself.
I mean, Waffle House closes when the hurricanes are bad enough.
Yeah, I very much as well. Now, The filmmaker Bob Clark did A Christmas Story and what was this other one?
Black Christmas.
Oh, interesting.
He
Jingle
has a
Bells
range.
was actually written by J.P. Morgan's uncle James Lord Pierpont. This guy was a Northerner who decided to head south and fight for the Confederacy during the Civil War. The song is about the sleigh races that happened in Salem in the 1800s. Originally, it was called One Horse Open Sleigh. It was not intended as a Christmas song, and some of the lesser known lines are about picking up chicks and racing sleighs. You know what? You're just mad because I've been chatting with hot babes online all day. When One Horse Open Sleigh was first printed in September of 1857, it was dedicated to John Ordway, a Boston doctor, composer, and organizer of a troupe of white men performing in blackface called Ordway's Aeolians. Look, man, that's a little fucked up.
You think?
So there is a good chance that Jingle Bells was originally performed in blackface. On a lighter note, Jingle Bells was the first song ever broadcast from space. Yeah,
You
that's a
skipped
little
my warning of you may never look at the song the same way again.
I see why now. I see why. This I did never knew that about Jingle Bells. That's a little fucked up. Man,
Yeah.
we can't have anything nice in this world, can we?
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that one. Why don't you go ahead and hit us with the last with Adams, his traditions, and then Micah had a late write in, and we'll wrap this whole Christmas special up.
Oh, Jordan said, "Oh, and Bad Santa's underrated." I think you said that.
I did.
Micah's favorites were Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story, Nightmare Before Christmas, Polar Express, and Elf. I was disappointed with Polar Express as somebody who
I
like
don't like
had
Polar
the
Express.
bell and always read the book and
Okay.
like had the cassette and then the CD. I was very disappointed with
I
this.
was at work and there's a very big generational divide. I'm old. I've realized that now I'm old. To me, Elf is a good movie. Now, to these younger guys, Polar Express is to them what Elf is to me. So they don't
Bad
like it.
CGI.
They don't like Elf. They love Polar Express.
But did they ever
It's
read the book or like listen to the tape?
man, probably not.
I don't know. I mean, I do like my hot
Tragic.
chocolate. Hot, hot, hot. Um, Micah said overrated was Hallmark Channel movies.
All right, or cut her off. Cut her off.
Oh, underrated. Okay, he's got some fun ones here. He said a goofy little Christmas. I've never seen that.
Oh, I've never seen that one either.
You know what I do love? I love Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas when
That
Max
one's a
comes
good
home from
one.
college.
Yeah.
Just wanted to
Man,
make a good impression. Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, that ends at Christmas.
it
Iron Man
does.
3 is Christmas. That takes place all
All
over
right.
Christmas.
All right.
Dashing Through the Snow. I don't think I've seen that
Never
one.
seen that one.
I'll Be Home for Christmas. Didn't love that one.
I'll Be Home for Christmas, Johnson Taylor Thomas and Jessica Biel.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
Yeah,
good.
no,
And I
that
love him.
no,
He's
stop.
Simba.
Just stop. Just stop.
And then he said Bluey episode 25
All right.
Christmas.
All right. Now Micah's spitting. He's straight up spitting now. But those last two, fire. And I believe we have one more from John Wesley on Twitter.
But we have one more from your friend for underrated. That was Violent Night. And then the Twitter, favorite Muppet Christmas Carol, overrated Elf, and the whole Die Hard argument. Shouldn't
That's
be an
true.
argument.
It's not an argument.
Underrated Prep and Landing shorts. I agree. The Prep and
Never heard of
Landing
that.
shorts. What? They had a whole Christmas show at Hollywood Studios. The kids and I have shirts.
Never heard of it.
Oh, they're so cute. There's two of them. And the first one starts with the Nat King Cole Christmas song, which is my all time favorite Christmas song. Super duper cute. The whole thing is like the elves prep the house for Santa to get into the house.
Huh.
It's got like decent casting. It's on ABC. It's on Disney Plus. You're going to watch that with the kids. They're like 20 minutes each or something.
I can get
They're
down with that.
adorable.
Remind me. You gotta remind me, otherwise I'm gonna forget.
Okay. Tradition, my in-laws usually sleep over Christmas Eve and we play games all night, then have a huge breakfast that includes my wife's French toast casserole. I believe
Sounds
Micah said
amazing.
French toast too.
Yeah, I was gonna
We
say
used to make
Carrie likes
French
to make an
toast.
apple baked French toast that's really good too on Christmas morning. So that's a popular. I didn't know French toast was as popular as it was.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Kaylee actually made French toast for us last year, Christmas morning, and she'd gotten the Tiana powdered sugar thingy. They
Oh,
were pretty
that's so
yummy.
cute.
It was adorable.
I have to come back down there with Harper when Tiana's stuff opens. But
Princess and the Frog,
yeah,
underrated Disney movie
it
for sure.
is. It is. Well, we did the thing. This was a very long episode. Thank you for hanging out with us. This was our first ever strictly Christmas special for the year 2023. thanks for hanging out. We want to hear if you are listening to this and you have anything that you want to add, drop it. Whether it's in the review, whether you come to any of the social media platforms that we are on, you drop it there. Let us know. Join our Discord. I'm going to put the link for the Discord in the bio of this episode. We love it, man. Shout out to our Patreons this year. We send them good little Christmas gifts. If you want to join that, patreon.com/HopsGeekNews. That goes straight into everything that we do, such as MegaCon, such as probably AwesomeCon, GalaxyCon, all sorts of fun, exciting things that we are going to be doing the year 2024. We are going into our fourth year as a podcast coming up this
Jeez,
year. It's insane. We've
that
been
is
growing.
crazy.
We're having fun, and we can't do it without people who listen. So thank you for that. That's a Christmas gift to us. And even if you don't care about Christmas, man, let us know your holiday traditions. I don't care what it is. Let us know. We love to hear it. Thanks for hanging out with us. This has been our first ever Christmas special. Check us out next week where we are going to be talking about the 20th anniversary of Elf. And then
You
the
keep
week,
saying that. That doesn't sound right.
it doesn't sound right, but it is. And then the week after that, we are actually have a special 200th episode where we will be drafting our favorite comic books of the year 2023 with Ken and Tom from our Nerd Initiative and Turn a Page, where you can find us every single week on nerdinitiative.com. Thanks for again for hanging out. Take a drink every time I say it. We'll
Merry
see you next
Christmas.
week. Merry
Glalia Yule.
Christmas, you filthy animals.
Feliz Navidad. R.I.P. Hans Gruber.
Cheers. Raise a glass to you.
Goal.
Cheers.